There is a voice that every person hears more than any other voice in their life. It is not the voice of a parent. It is not the voice of a friend. It is not the voice of a teacher or a coworker. It is the voice inside your own mind. And for many people, that voice can become incredibly harsh. Sometimes the things we say to ourselves in our own mind are things we would never say to another person. We replay mistakes. We criticize ourselves. We question our decisions. We think about things we should have done differently. And before long, the mind begins to sound less like a place of support and more like a place of constant judgment. Today, I want to talk about something that many people experience but rarely talk about openly. What happens when your own mind becomes your harshest critic, and why that voice inside your head can sometimes feel so powerful. Very few people are born with a harsh inner voice. Most of the time, that voice develops slowly over many years. Sometimes it begins with the things we hear growing up. Comments that may have seemed small at the time, or words that someone said during a moment of frustration. Criticism that was repeated often enough that it began to settle into the mind. Over time, those outside voices can become internal voices, and eventually the mind begins repeating them automatically. Not because we want to hurt ourselves emotionally, but because the brain learned those patterns. You may recognize this moment. You are going about your day normally. Nothing dramatic is happening. But suddenly, your mind remembers something you did months ago. Maybe it was a conversation. Maybe you said something awkward. Maybe you made a mistake. And without warning, your mind replays the moment like a scene in a movie. You hear the words again. You feel the embarrassment again. You think about what you should have said instead. And your inner voice begins criticizing you. Why did you say that? That was so stupid. You should have handled that better. In that moment, it feels like your mind is working against you instead of supporting you. The brain is constantly trying to learn from experiences. When something uncomfortable happens, the brain stores it carefully. It does this because it believes remembering mistakes will prevent them from happening again. So when the mind replays an embarrassing moment or a past decision, it believes it is helping you. It believes it is teaching you how to avoid that situation in the future. But sometimes this learning system becomes overactive. Instead of simply learning from the moment and moving on, the brain keeps revisiting the memory again and again, turning reflection into criticism. For many people, the inner critic becomes loudest at night. The day finally slows down. Distractions disappear. The room becomes quiet, and suddenly the mind begins reviewing the day. You might lie in bed thinking about things you wish you had done differently, things you wish you had said, moments that felt uncomfortable. The mind starts analyzing everything, and the voice in your head becomes critical. You should have done that better. You could have handled that differently. You always mess things up. Even though the day is over, your mind continues the conversation. One reason the inner critic feels so powerful is because it speaks in your own voice. It feels familiar. It feels convincing. When someone else criticizes you, you can sometimes question their opinion. But when the criticism comes from inside your own mind, it feels harder to challenge it. And then it feels like the truth. But not every thought the mind produces is accurate. The brain is capable of exaggerating mistakes. It can magnify small moments. It can repeat thoughts that are not actually helpful. Another place where the inner critic often appears is comparison. You may see someone who seems successful, someone who seems confident, someone whose life appears to be moving smoothly, and suddenly your inner voice begins speaking again. Why can't you be more like that? They have everything figured out. You are falling behind. In those moments, the mind begins measuring your life against someone else's highlight reel, and the inner critic becomes louder. One of the most important things to understand about the inner critic is this: that voice is not actually trying to destroy you. Most of the time, it developed as a misguided attempt to protect you. It believes that if it keeps pointing out mistakes, you will improve. If it keeps warning you about potential problems, you will avoid failure. But constant criticism does not lead to growth. It leads to exhaustion. Real growth comes from understanding and patience. The first step in quieting the inner critic is simply noticing it. Instead of automatically believing every critical thought, begin observing it. When the voice appears, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this thought actually helpful? Is this something I would say to someone I care about? Often the answer will be no, and recognizing that can slowly change the relationship you have with your own thoughts. There is something important about the way we speak to ourselves internally. Our inner voice shapes how we see our worth. It shapes how we see our future. It shapes how we respond to mistakes. Learning to speak to yourself with patience does not mean ignoring growth. It means understanding that you are human. It means recognizing that mistakes are part of learning. It means replacing constant criticism with understanding. Imagine a moment where you make a mistake. Instead of the usual criticism, something different happens. Instead of harsh words, your mind responds with patience. You acknowledge the mistake, you learn from it, and then you move forward. No punishment, no endless replaying, just understanding. That is what a healthier inner voice begins to look like. If your mind has become your harshest critic, you are not alone. Many people carry this experience quietly, but your thoughts do not have to remain that way forever. Your mind can learn a different voice, a voice that still guides you, a voice that still helps you grow, but a voice that also understands something important. You deserve patience. You deserve compassion, even from yourself.